I'm Niall Walton. Welcome to the Transcript. This week, the Transcript looks into changes in Northampton High School music, gets up to date to fall sports season, investigates socialism, racism, and gaming community, and Eli Christian respond to hostility in the Russian government.
On Tuesday, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake occurred in Mexico City and the surrounding areas. The death toll as of Thursday was around 250. Just around 200 miles away, on September 8th, an 8.1 magnitude earthquake killed 90. Schools have been closed indefinitely, and millions remain without power. On Tuesday, President Trump gave his first speech to the United Nations General Assembly. In his speech, Trump pledged to totally destroy North Korea if it threatened the United States, and called the Iran nuclear agreement an embarrassment. The delegates representing North Korea did not attend President Trump's speech, and later issued a statement saying that Trump's speech sounded like a dog barking. Sources have told U.S. news outlets that the FBI wiretapped Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort beginning in 2014. The wiretapping was reportedly authorized by a secret court order as part of an investigation into ties between U.S. consulting firms and the former government of Ukraine. The court order was reissued prior to the 2016 election to investigate ties between the Trump campaign and Russian operatives, and continued until some time after the election. Mr. Manafort has been informed by federal prosecutors that they plan to indict him.
For as long as many students can remember, the annual NHS musical has been held in the spring. This year, for the first time ever, the musical was slated to open in November. However, students learned the day of the auditions that due to unseen scheduling conflicts, auditions and the show have been postponed.
When I came into the school, I actually didn't see that the musical was postponed. I heard it through like a series of different people, so I just figured it was some sort of gossip that was going around, but turns out it was true. I was disappointed because I was really excited to take part in it in the fall.
It took us a long time to make the decision, and the final decision wasn't made until really July or the very end of June. And so some of the conversations that we should have had, specifically with the principal and the head of the athletic department, the kinds of meetings where you ask questions about what could this impact, didn't get done. One of the things we discovered, the biggest thing we discovered when we came back in the fall, was there was a huge impact on student athletes. Things began to pile up. We got into the problem of we have seniors, and the seniors who take the most responsibility for working on the musical are the stage managers. Here we are, and it's fall apply to college time, and that they need to have their time free to work through that process. That's hugely important. And then finally, the weekend that we chose is a weekend that in the past was always the fall production. Meanwhile, a hugely popular event for our theater techies, and now even our actors, is going to MIT on that weekend. We realized very quickly that this was just impacting so many things negatively. We had an emergency meeting on the Sunday night before Monday auditions, where we had to take all of this into account. And at that point, we realized it would be kind of insane to move forward, that we needed to step back.
The scheduling shift of the musical at the last minute has created issues for students who were intending to audition. Many students cleared out their entire fall schedule for the musical rehearsals, opting out of clubs and sports.
I didn't do cross country. I wasn't planning on doing it because I thought the musical was going to be in the fall this year. And when I found out it wasn't, I just joined cross country still because Kara Dupre was nice enough to let us join. It was very disruptive because I'm also like behind in training, as well as the scheduling in the winter now is throwing off, I bet, many people's sports.
The musical will indeed be happening. The show will go on in its original slot in March.
We've been able to restore the musical to its original schedule, so we will be having auditions later in the fall, and the musical will now perform in the third weekend of March, as it has for decades.
The theater department is working hard to rally the community and make sure the musical will open smoothly come March. As they say, the show must go on. Stay tuned for more. I'm Mikey Diaz, and thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Gabe Nicotera. Welcome to Hamped Up.
Y'all ready for this?
Due to nothing, this week's segment will be shorter than usual. But don't weep, because I tried to make the best of it. Remember 2 weeks ago when Jackson Heath predicted an undefeated season for the boys soccer team? I decided to follow up on the progress the team has made this year. So the boys team is 0-3 after suffering an atrocious 8-1 loss against Belchertown. Do you think the team can come back from this rocky start?
No.
So yesterday, you scored the team's first goal after being scoreless 2 games in a row. Can you take me through that memory?
Yeah, it was honestly one of the best moments of my life.
As for our other sports, the boys cross-country team is now 3-0, defeating Westfield on Wednesday for senior night. The girls cross-country team is 1-0, and the football team is 2-0. The golf team is 1 game below a 500 average, giving them a 3-4 record. The field hockey team is 1-2, and the girls soccer team is 2-1. Thanks for watching Hamped Up. I'm Gabe Nicotera.
Hi, I'm Odette Venice, and welcome back to Hit It or Miss It, where all things pop culture are covered. This week, I investigated accusations of racism within the gaming community. There has been a recent outcry over the new South Park video game, Fractured Butthole, that is being released in October of this year. The game is a sequel to the 2014 game, Stick of Truth. Both games are like a life simulator, where your character is living in South Park. When customizing your character, the game gets harder the blacker you are and if you're trans. I sat down with members of the Video Game Club and SOCA and NHS to discuss whether these events signify a larger trend.
I think with inclusivity in the gaming communities, it's really hard to pin down in general. Some communities, like, say, playing COD online, you're going to get yelled at by a 12-year-old screaming the N-word.
They're not really with that person physically, so that just gives them the willpower to say, oh, you know, like, I can say this and they're not going to do anything about it. So they just take that as a way to say what they have to say and think they're not going to get away with it.
I think gaming in the overall setting of like our society excludes people just because media usually excludes people, no matter their race or ethnicity or religion or whatever background. However, I do think just like in any form of media, there are subsets, there are like smaller cultures, and we have been seeing a rise of games that have been trying to move social movements.
So what do you think of this issue? I'm Odette Venice, and this was Hit It or Miss It.
Hi, I'm Flor Castillo, and you're watching Tell It Like It Is. This week, I explored the issue of charter school expansion in Massachusetts. The Pioneer Valley Chinese Immersion Charter School is a K-12 school located in Hadley and focuses on developing their students' proficiency in Mandarin Chinese. Currently, the state regulates the charter school with a cap of 584 students. The Chinese Immersion School wants to grow to a maximum of 1,036 students, so they've been applying for expansion.
I think the main difference between a charter school and a public school is that the charter school is not directed by or bound to follow the rules of an elected school committee. So the way that they function is they get to make up what they want to do, and they're not really accountable to anybody. Like our school is accountable to a school committee that we elect. So there's a whole chain of accountability that charter schools don't have.
Well, a public school is required to take all kids from their district, which would be a certain zone or catchment area, whereas a charter school often has a specialty or a slant, like in the case of the Chinese Immersion School. Their district can be determined differently. Usually it's a bunch of, in Western Mass at least, it's usually a number of small of the surrounding cities and towns, and they accept students by lottery. So whereas a public school is required to take all students who come, whose parents register them, etc., who live, for example, in Northampton. In a charter school, they have a certain number of kids they can take, and when they reach that maximum through the lottery, if they reach it, then they're done.
People wanted to expand or erase the cap or get rid of the cap because some people are advocating that charter schools offer more choice, and you know, in some places maybe that's true. So that's one reason I think people might be interested in expanding.
The Northampton School Committee has sent a letter opposing the school's expansion, claiming that it will have a significant effect on the Northampton public schools.
Well, the disadvantage for a city like Northampton is basically it comes down to the funding formula. So the way that the funding formula works for charter schools is that the sending district has to pay tuition to that charter school, and that tuition is how much we spend on each child in Northampton. And the problem is that once you start adding up all of that tuition, that it really has a huge impact on our city's budget, and so it really we lose a lot of money to charter schools.
The state's decision will come out after the Board of Education takes up charter amendments in February or March. I'm Flor Castillo, and this was Tell It Like It Is.
Heyo! Welcome to the other stuff. This week, politics?
Why?
I don't know.
Back in 2012, the United States issued sanctions against Russia, citing a violation of human rights. These sanctions became known as the Magnitsky Act, named after Sergei Magnitsky, a Russian lawyer who accused Russian officials of tax fraud and was subsequently jailed. Magnitsky later died in jail from what was determined to be severe beating, and he was denied medical attention. These sanctions prevented multiple Russian officials from accessing bank accounts they had in America.
Russia responded by banning Americans from adopting Russian children, halting about 90 kids from joining potential families. They cited an incident in which a Russian child died from heat stroke in Virginia. But just a month ago, after years of rising tension and controversy, the official Twitter account of the Russian government responded to the American sanctions with this tweet, along with the following video.
Ethan, roll the thing.
Roll the clip.
Ethan, do the clip.
Roll the clip. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
It's a threat.
I know they're trying to threaten
It's
America,
definitely a threat.
but it's not threatening in
It's
any
not
way.
really
It's
a threat.
not. The people in the video are just having fun.
They look happy. Think about all of the cool things they could have used instead to threaten us. Nope. Nah. Yep, that's the one. There it is.
That's it. Here's the other thing. I really don't like being threatened.
I don't like being threatened either.
You know what we could do?
Make a video.
You want to make a video?
Let's make a video.
Let's make a video. Thanks for watching. Go America.
Catch us next week where we do something else.
Thanks for watching. Head over to nhtstechnology.org.